Hello, welcome to the American Business Podcast. I am welcoming you to our 100th episode. Yes, we made it. That's our 100th. It's been our goal this year to pass 100th episode, and I'm happy to have you today on the American Business Podcast. And that's our 100th episode. Thank you for your support, and thank you for being with us. With your help and support, I'm sure we're going to have many more 100 episodes together. And today's number is 6.4 trillion. That's the global professional services industry market in 2023. That's the market size, $6.4 trillion. Speaking of professional services, we have a great guest today. I am going to invite our guest to our virtual stage in the 100th episode of the American Business Podcast, and we'll get the conversation started. Hello, Robin. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello. I'm so honored to be here on your 100th episode. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Well, it's such a pleasure. We are really excited, happy, honored. So it's a mix of feelings, and it's really hard to describe. We started this journey end of February, early March, and it's been less than a year, and the podcast is going well. Yes, the business community really welcomed us in so many ways. I'm glad that the content, the informative content that we put together resonated with our audience, and I'm really grateful for the support that we've been getting from our audience, listeners, and experts like yourself. So thank you so much for being with us.
Yeah, no, truly grateful. Glad to be here.
Thank you. How is your week going so far? Today is Friday. Happy Friday.
Today is Friday. It's been a good week. Have been traveling a lot, so it was nice to kind of be at home, kind of in the office, able to focus on work and my clients for a week.
Sounds great. Well, if that's okay, we can get started. We have a lot to learn from you. So we talk about professional services, and that's our today's number today is to the size of the global professional services market. So we love to learn from you and understand what you do, and we will also learn from your professional wisdom and insights. As a start, would you please introduce yourself and your organization to our audience and to our listeners?
Sure. So I'm Robin Bolton. I'm the founder and chief navigator at Mile Zero, and I partner with leaders of medium and large companies to turn uncertainty into competitive advantage and revenue growth. And we do that by using all the tools typically associated with innovation, and I embed with them to apply the tool, learn the tools, apply the tools, and get real results for their companies.
Can you tell us about your career path a little bit? How did you get started? How your career path has unfolded over the years?
So I've been fortunate enough to spend my entire career in corporate innovation. So I started off straight out of undergrad working for Procter & Gamble in brand management. And it was at a time when P&G was kind of first investing in innovation. They realized that they had an incredible reputation as a brand builder, but they hadn't built a brand in something like 30 years. So the company was investing in building new brands. I was randomly assigned to a new business development team. And that first year, actually a year to the day from when I graduated from undergrad, I was on stage. We were launching, doing the North American launch of Swiffer. So my first year was spent developing, testing, and preparing for the launch of Swiffer, which is now a $1 billion brand. So an incredible first year experience out in the real world. Loved it, and also thought that it was normal. And I've since learned that an experience like that is not normal. It's incredibly hard to innovate within a large organization. So, worked on the launch of Swiffer, also worked on the launch of Swiffer WetJet, spent some time in Arkansas on the Walmart sales team, and then left P&G, moved up to Boston to get my MBA at Harvard, went to work at the Boston Consulting Group, which is where professional services comes in, and worked in both Boston and in Copenhagen, Denmark, and then left BCG to go work at the firm that was founded by Clayton Christensen. So kind of combining the innovation experience at P&G with professional services, was there for about 9 years, and then his firm was acquired, and I started my own firm, which is Mile Zero.
Sounds exciting. I also understand
Yeah.
you are also a published author.
I am. My first book came out in February of this year called Unlocking Innovation, A Leader's Guide
Congratulations.
to Turning Bold Ideas into Tangible Results. Thank you.
Would you like to tell us a little bit about your book?
Yeah, so the book, for a long time, I resisted writing a book because there are so many great innovation books out there. It's like the world does not need another one. And ultimately, what I realized was that kind of the innovation industrial complex, as I lovingly call it, because I'm part of it, has for decades focused on what I call the architecture of innovation. So the strategy, the structure, the process, metrics, governance, and all of that stuff is important. It is all necessary for innovation success, but it's not sufficient. That ultimately, innovation, people think of it as an idea problem, but it's a leadership problem. And so, just as much as we focus on architecture, we need to be focused on behavior, leadership behaviors, and culture, and the culture of innovation. And so, what I call these things, the ABCs of innovation, architecture, behavior, and culture, have to be developed and nurtured and enhanced all at the same time. And then when you layer on top of that the fact that most innovation teams are disbanded within 3 years, you have a lot of work to do on the ABCs in 3 years, and the ABCs evolve with every year. So the book is really a guidebook, a playbook for how to be successful in those first 3 years of innovating.
Well, best of luck with your book, and thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
sharing with us. Yes, we welcome authors also on the American Business Podcast. It's very educational, and that's a great opportunity to learn about your book and put it out there and share it with our audience. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, let's talk about your day-to-day work. You work with different businesses and different business owners and business leaders. What are the day-to-day work that when you look at your day-to-day work, what are the exciting and challenging parts of your work on daily basis?
So the most exciting part of my work is probably what most people think of as the least exciting part of their work, and it's being in meetings with my clients, because innovation is essentially change. You're changing something about the organization. You're changing something about what it does, and change is really hard. And when I am with my clients, when we're in meetings or when we're in one-on-one conversations, the best part of my job is helping the leaders I work with to navigate those conversations, to navigate the meetings where inevitably something surprising will happen, or something will go wrong, or someone will say no. And all of those very common challenges that come up when you're trying to do something new, how do we respond to them, on the spot? So kind of do on the spot real time troubleshooting, and what can we learn from them? And then how do we adjust going forward? So it's a lot of kind of live fire troubleshooting, but also kind of building capabilities so that we can keep moving forward and keep moving forward in a better way than we were moving already.
When you look at professional services industry, how do you see the industry overall? What is the state of it? Any challenges that you see in the industry based on your
Oh,
professional observation?
yeah, the professional services industry, like a lot of industries right now, are in a state of full on classic Clayton Christensen disruption. And so, Clay coined the term disruptive innovation. For him, it had a very specific meaning, which was around kind of good enough solutions that were lower cost, that allowed non-consumers into a market. And that is 100% what is happening in consulting. AI has come in. It is free. It is cheap at $20 a month if you have Claude or ChatGPT. It is integrated into the systems we already use. And it is absolutely good enough. So when you think about especially kind of the global consulting firms, very premium priced, now you can, sitting at ChatGPT in a company, you can have Chat do the research and compile a report for you and get a lot of the information that you used to pay a premium for consulting firms to do. Even within professional services, coaching is another aspect of professional services. And people are using Gen AI to coach them. And there are a lot of, very coaching specific AI services that are popping up. So the industry is in a state of absolute disruption that is, I think, going to require us to change our business models. And in 5, 10 years, this industry is going to look very different than it does today.
Yeah, this is fascinating, and I like to link this conversation to impact of AI. Aside from professional services industry alone, how do you see the impact of AI in general on business? How it is changing the business landscape from your point of view?
It is having both a huge impact and no impact. It's kind of, like Schrodinger's cat sort of thing. It is both alive and dead. It is both huge, earth shaking, and not having an impact at all. And what I mean by that is that I think every company, every organization is experimenting with AI. And some are approaching it with, hey, let's just throw AI in and either have people use it and see what happens or replace people with it. And as amazing as Gen AI is right now, it's still an infant. So it's not ready to take over things. It's not ready to replace people. You still have to double check to make sure that it's not hallucinating and making things up and that it's doing things correctly. So when those experiments are run and you don't immediately see the benefit, a lot of companies are like, oh, AI is a bubble. It's a myth. Forget it. We're going back to our own way. So that's where nothing's changing. Other companies are running pilots and saying, actually, how do we rethink what we do to integrate AI into it versus just using it as a replacement? And those companies are seeing incredible results that truly are transforming how they do work. So it's a tale of kind of two different experiences based on the approach the companies are taking.
Yes, it's actually interesting you mentioned that. And I had these conversations also with some of my colleagues earlier this week, especially how much to trust AI when you're actually using it, utilizing it, to what level,
Yes.
and how to put the guardrails to make sure you are getting the right information. There are
Yes.
many different industries utilizing it, and it's very interesting that some of them are really, just to your point, just to support your point, some of them really just utilizing it all the way, but they always put guardrails.
Mhm.
Some of them I see they just surrendered AI. They're just saying that, hey,
Yeah.
this is AI just taking over our industry. They just just raise the white flag. So it's a mix of things. So it's really
Yes.
happening in that sense. The impact of AI. So I'm glad that we got your insights as well in that sense.
Yeah. No, I use AI every single day, but I also refer to it as my idiot summer intern, where most of the times it's screwing
I like
something
it.
up, but every so often it says something brilliant that I had never thought of before.
Yes, and I was actually, I use it also myself on pretty much on daily basis for different things, but just to your point, you gotta always double check. And I like, it's always I'm talking about LLMs of course here, but then
Yes.
I'll just just when you criticize it, I like it is answers. Like I say like, this is a horrible response. Why would you say that? Well, that's a great point, Kevin. Let me address that. And the conversation is always upbeat and positive. So
Yes.
it's
And they're like,
amazing
I'm
how they.
so sorry. And I'm like, well, then fix it. Don't do it again. And then it immediately does it again. I'm like, then you're not sorry. And I'm like, I'm arguing with a machine.
That's true. At the end of the day, it's actually a piece of software, right?
Yeah.
Fundamentally, and it's utilizing different databases, for us to basically make the most of it. That's actually how it
Mhm.
is. But it's evolving, so we're gonna keep
Yes.
seeing the impact of it in business. That's for sure.
Yes, definitely.
Well, for businesses, especially in times of crisis and uncertainty, what is the best way for companies to address these and survive crisis and uncertainty in economy?
Yeah, and there's no doubt that we are living in a more volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous world. And companies have done what I think is the first step that we often take, which is, cut costs, try to shore up the foundation of your business as much as possible. The next step then is you've got to move forward. You can't cut your way to growth. You can't keep doing what you've always done in a world that is fundamentally different. So, starting with looking around your core business and saying, okay, what can I do differently? What can I improve? This is kind of where AI comes in. Where can I improve processes? Where can I become more efficient? Where can I become more effective? How do I do that? It's looking at the business and saying, hey, what assets do I have? Products, services, whatever that may be, that could be of interest to different customers or of interest in a new market. What customers do I have and what other problems could I solve for them? And think about how can you grow your business into kind of that adjacent market, whatever it is. And those are the near term things that can be done, and those are the things that will get you 5-10 steps ahead of your competition when you invest in them. And then alongside, it's an and not an or, is thinking about okay, what's called now strategic foresight. If we envision a world 30 or worlds 30 years from now and then work backwards to what we need to do today to be prepared, what are the investments that we make? What are the ways that we can try to future proof the business, which is essentially reducing the risk of being majorly impacted by other events that are unexpected?
Well, I like to shift our conversation towards role models and mentors a little bit. In your career journey, have you had any role models, any mentors who help you shape your career perspective over the years?
Yeah, so two come immediately to mind. One was when I first went to work at P&G, we had a general manager, so my boss's boss's boss, who kind of called me into his office in my first weeks at P&G, and he pulled out of his bookshelf a 3-inch thick 3-ring binder. And he said, these are all of the approved memo styles, because we still wrote memos. These are the approved memo styles for P&G. And if I ever see you use any of these, I will fire you. And that was his way of saying, hey, we are working in creating new things. We cannot be bound by the old rules. We need to look at the rules, look at the processes, look at everything that's always been done critically, and then consciously decide, do we keep doing it or do we need to do things a different way? And so he gave me permission to break the rules. That's all I needed, and been trying to break the rules ever since. So that's one role model. The other role model is actually my mother. And the way that came about is, so she passed away very suddenly shortly after I graduated from business school, and she was a nursery school teacher. And at her funeral, there were so many kids. I mean, she taught 4-year-olds her whole life, and the number of children that were there was remarkable when you consider the circumstances. But there was a little girl who was there who's probably 6 or 8, and she was a wreck. She was inconsolable. And I finally went up to her because she was such a mess and I didn't see any adults around her, and to check to see if she was okay. And she said, your mom changed my life. And I wanted to be like, you're 6. There's not a whole lot of life to change. But she told me the story about how she was having a hard time in preschool and wasn't making any friends, was really struggling. Her parents were going to homeschool her, but she loved to sing. And so my mom sang with her. And to be very clear, my mom could not sing. Like, she could not carry a tune in a bucket of water. It's a family trait. But she sang with this little girl, and the little girl talked about how that gave her confidence to make friends. And now she's in school and she's in the choir and she has all these friends. And, that coming out of Harvard Business School, I realized that that is what success looks like. Success is having an impact on someone's life for the better. And that's what really matters. So that has also been kind of a North Star since that moment.
Yeah, that's an amazing story. If there is one key career lesson that you learned the hard way, what would it be that you can share with our audience?
It is do the right thing, but don't expect to get rewarded for it. And what I mean by that is, I think a lot of people, have great integrity and they have a strong sense of what the right thing to do is, whether it's in business, whether it's in their personal lives. And first, we should try to do the right thing in the right way. And sometimes that's kind of where we mess up. And I certainly have where, I've seen very clearly what the right way to do something is. And then I go about it in totally the wrong way and alienate people and ruffle feathers and all that. And that creates problems. So, but even if you go about trying to do the right thing in the right way, odds are you're going to upset somebody. Because if it were easy to do the right thing, it'd already be happening. So you're probably changing something, breaking something. Probably somebody feels threatened by what you're doing. And you won't always get rewarded for doing the right thing. And so you have to kind of, take a deep breath and decide like, hey, even though this seems to me like the obviously right thing to do, this seems like the right way to do it. You also have to know that you're taking a risk and that risk may not work out in your benefit, and then kind of make the choice from there.
That's the choice. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I love it. Well, what are your biggest passions and interests outside of work?
So one of them is I love to build Lego. I built Lego as a kid, kind of rediscovered it. Both my husband and I build Lego, and I'm intentionally using the word build Lego instead of play with Lego because we buy the kits and we build the kits. And so many people, rightfully so, associate Lego with creativity. I love the fact that it is the exact opposite of my life and that I can sit down with a book and know that I put this rectangle on top of this rectangle and that by doing that, I will get this outcome. And so it is absolute certainty if done correctly. And I love that. It's kind of like this Zen process of building a kit. So I love Lego. And I grew up in the Cleveland area. And so I am a very passionate Cleveland Guardians baseball fan. And as I say, I firmly believe, it's getting harder and harder, but I firmly believe that they will win a World Series in my lifetime. And I just may have to live longer than I thought I would to see that happen.
Yes, baseball is something that I started learning in the last 10 years. So I'm a New York Mets fan. So I'm also learning myself in terms of, anything can happen in baseball. That's what I learned over, just all these 3 hours of game that you are watching. So
yep.
There's always a possibility.
You never turn the game off or leave the game before the final out is recorded because you're right. Anything can happen.
Yes, that's true. So regarding the Lego, so I had a chance to go to the Lego store in the city, in New York City. And they have a big store, flagship store on 5th Avenue and 23rd Street. Yeah. So I had a chance to go there. I had a little bit time. I was going to have a meeting. And then I went there. And then to your point, it's very detailed, the way that they design it. And I took like a two laps there easily, very detailed, especially Star Wars. When I saw that, it was amazing. Is there any favorite one that you put together within the family?
So we do have some of the big Star Wars sets. I will say building the Millennium Falcon nearly killed me. It was like 5 days of just gray bricks.
Yes,
so that was tough.
Oh my God, yes. That's so much fun though.
It's so much fun. And my favorite is they have what's called modular building. So it's city sets. And, you build something like the the town hall, but each floor is incredibly detailed internally, and it all comes together to tell a story of what's going on in the town hall and the hijinks the Lego characters are getting into. So I
Uh,
love that, the detail of it, but then also the story element.
yes, amazing how they come about Lego as a company. I think they are from
Yeah.
Denmark originally.
They are. They're
They are,
from
right?
Denmark.
And in
Yes.
this time, in the age of AI and technology, and I mean, look at this. I mean, they are just here to stay, and they are
Yes.
evolving. That's also
Yes.
amazing
Yeah.
as
It's
an
amazing how
organization.
they're evolving and how thoughtful they are about what comes next and what the future of play looks like.
Amazing. Well, if you had a chance to go back history, personally or historically, to what time period would you like to go back, and why?
So there's admittedly some recency bias in this, but I would like to go back to probably 1774, 75, 76, when our founding fathers were getting together and figuring out how to separate from England, whether they should or not. And then as they were putting together the founding documents of this country, the Declaration of Independence, but certainly the Constitution. And, what were they thinking? What were they debating? What was their intent and hope for this country? I would love to be able to sit in on those conversations.
Yes, that's amazing to think about. Well, for sometimes at work, things are not going so well. Sometimes we have challenges. Sometimes we have hardship. Uh, we need to address it. So, in times of hardship and challenges at work, how to stay motivated and inspired?
Mhm. So first off, acknowledge that it is totally normal to be demotivated and not inspired. It's okay. You know, we're human. Humans go through ups and downs. To the extent that you can, try to find silver linings. The great lunch conversation you had with a friend, or the funny thing that happened in the meeting. Um, but I would say also, especially this time where, people feel less engaged, less inspired than ever, it's also okay to find your happiness and your joy outside of work. Now is the time to kind of tap into your interests, your hobbies, to take chances. What happens if you do start an Etsy store? What happens if, you do kind of go visit a museum every week? Kind of find little ways to explore something different and kind of get out of the routine of your daily life. And that can actually be incredibly beneficial mentally, psychologically, emotionally, and also kind of bring a little bit of inspiration into your daily work.
I have a question. I call it a bonus question because we didn't talk about it when we were getting ready.
Okay, let's do
So,
it.
all right. So, one of the things that uh, I believe it's helpful and important, but we haven't addressed it that much in the American Business Podcast. So, one is the health and wellness. So, as professionals, we work hard, sometimes long hours, many hours, and away from the family. Even if you work from home, you need to focus on to the work that you are on to work that you are working on. So, can you tell us your insights about the importance of health and wellness as from professional point of view? How why it is important, how we should do it, based on your experience so far over the years.
Yeah. So, um, I was never good about it early in my career. I had that drive of like always have to be working, Um, and then eventually, um, your body crashes. You get sick, or something even worse than getting the flu occurs. You realize that, the connections you have with family and with friends aren't as strong or as present, and inevitably, in my experience and in experiences with friends, like, something breaks, and you realize that all that you poured into the job is not enough to get you through the dark time, whether it is the illness or something happening in your family, et cetera. And so, one is to just like forgive yourself for making those choices. Like it's okay. Don't beat yourself up for choices of the past that you know, weren't all about wellness and taking care of yourself. Forgive yourself for it. And then start to make little changes. And, whether that is, just not taking your phone to the dinner table, like putting it in a drawer, or taking a walk during a lunch break. Find those little things that kind of help remind you that you're human, that you're not just a machine. And especially connection and relationships are so important. So, even something as simple as, texting a friend to be like, hey, thinking about you, hope you're happy, hope you're well. Like those little things that take 15 seconds can be huge benefits to your mental well-being, to your happiness, and ultimately to your productivity and creativity in the work that you do.
Well, thank you for sharing these. Well, we are getting ready to promote health and wellness for professionals in the American Business Podcast. We are just getting a new sponsor, and we are very excited. And this is something very important, and we haven't addressed it that much. But with you in this conversation, let this be a start, a milestone. So we're gonna focus on more and talk about it more in coming episodes. Well, being this is the 100th episode, well, I think that's a good
Perfect.
episode to get started, right? So
Yes.
which is great. Let's talk about the next generation. So new graduates coming in, they are trying to get into the job market, and it's getting difficult to get an entry level job for different reasons. AI is one of them, and some other reasons. What is your career advice for the next generation who are entering into the job market?
Yeah. So, one, know that a career is a long, long, long time, longer than you can imagine right now. And I say that because I remember coming out of undergrad and feeling like the decision I made, whatever my first job was determining the rest of my life. And yes, it's been highly influential. Yes, it did make a big difference in my life. But also, I know a lot of people who their first job was their first job, and then they've gone on to do totally different things. So just know a career is long. You are not, whatever happens in your first job does not seal your fate. Um, it is really, really hard for everyone, but especially coming out of school. The way you get jobs has changed. It's certainly, I think, actually becoming less and less normal to have a job immediately upon graduation. And so in that time, when you're between school and your first full-time job, that is a time to build skills. Like you better be experimenting with Gen AI. You better be learning like how to build AI agents. Like get really, into experimenting with AI and learning about it. Also, kind of all of those hobbies or those side quests, as I think folks call them now, like see what you can do with them. Can you turn it into a business? Can you turn it into a side gig? Because what employers are really looking for are people who work hard, who are willing to work and are willing to put themselves out there. And the more kind of initiative and entrepreneurship you can show and developing and applying skills in different areas, the more attractive you become to employers. And also, maybe you're earning a little bit of money too while you're waiting for kind of that traditional paycheck. And who knows, maybe that side gig, that hobby that you're monetizing while you wait actually turns into a full-time business, and now you're an entrepreneur.
For those who like to continue this conversation, who like to be in touch with you, what is the best way to be in touch with you, as well as to learn more about your company and services?
Yeah, so definitely go to my website, milezero.io. You can drop me a note there. You can schedule a call. And I'm also on LinkedIn. So you can just search for me on LinkedIn and send me an invite, drop me a note, and we can definitely continue the conversation.
Robin, thank you so much for being with us in your busy schedule. It was a great conversation. in our 100th episode, which is a milestone for us. We are very, very excited today. So this is
Yes.
great that we had you today on the American Business Podcast. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for sharing your professional wisdom and insights with us. And we should have you again in the future on the American Business Podcast. We can talk about many
Great.
different subjects for our audience to learn from you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you. And looking forward to the next 100 episodes.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend.
You too.
Thank you. Well, to our audience and to our listeners, I hope you like today's episode. Well, first of all, today is the 100th episode, right? That's special. That is live, and we made it to the 100th episode. When we started in late February, early March, uh, it was the beginning, right? The beginnings are always difficult, but then right now, about 8 months later, having the 8th episode, having thousands of subscribers and followers. It is such a blessing. We truly appreciate it. We are very grateful for your help and support. And when we started this podcast, we started it for you. We wanted to create this educational platform. And so far, I'm very happy to see that it is coming and is growing with your help and support. And our goal is to reach out to millions of followers, supporters, and audience. That is our goal in the American Business Podcast. And 100th episode is great. We are very happy, and with your help and support, I'm sure we're gonna have many more hundreds together as a community. Consider the American Business Podcast as your business community. We are your friends, we are your colleagues, and we are here to grow with you together in this competitive marketplace, and we can make it. If you'd like to be a guest in the American Business Podcast, you can send us an email, americanbusinesspodcast@gmail.com. We are very responsive. When you send us an email, you get a response within 24 hours, and we love to hear from you. Also, as I mentioned earlier, we are getting new sponsors, supporters, and advertisers to the American Business Podcast. We are really grateful for your support, and we are grateful for our sponsors as well. For advertising and sponsorship inquiries, you can also send us an email, americanbusinesspodcast@gmail.com. If you go to our website, americanpodcast.tv, you can see our coming schedule and our guests who are scheduled, what type of subjects we will be talking about. You can see the whole list on the website, and you can also learn more about the American Business Podcast, what we are up to, what is coming up, and we keep it updated on weekly basis. As you know, on the American Business Podcast, we not just talking about different subjects, we like to also take action. That is why we put together Connection America Business Alliance online business networking event. Let's talk on the American Business Podcast, and let's network on the Connection America Business Alliance online business networking events. What is unique about this event is that during the Connection America Business Alliance online networking event, you will be meeting with other business professionals, and at the same time, you will be live on the American Business Podcast. So our thousands of YouTube subscribers and listeners and viewers, they will be also watching and learning about your business, your products and services. At the same time, you will be meeting with other business professionals during this online networking event. That's why it's really special and unique when you look at it. We have very limited seating. We are almost sold out. So if you're interested, if you like to introduce your company, your products and services, I hope you can join us. That's the QR code on the screen. When you scan it, it'll bring the registration page to your screen. You can register, fill up the form. I hope you can join us and introduce your products and services. I'll be the host of the event. I'll be moderating, and I'll be happy to help you introduce your products, services, and company during this event. Great. What else is happening? Let's talk about our sponsors. Let's promote them. Let's talk about them. We truly appreciate them. Spot Corp events. If you are interested in building your team, Spot Corp events is for you, and they put together great events to help you create team spirit and building teams. That's their expertise. So the events that they put together, actually, they are special because they are designed to help you build your teams and team spirit. If you are interested in learning more, please scan this QR code and use the code ABP, and make sure to tell them that you heard about them from the American Business Podcast. If you're in a highly regulated industry, pharmaceutical, nutraceutical, aerospace, defense. When it is time to get rid of your laptop, computers, and your hard drive and other data, you need to recycle them carefully. That is why we recommend Popfish USA Sustainability Solutions. They are specialized in data destruction. Personally, I've been to their facility. I've seen how secure their facility was with my own eyes. They destruct your laptops, they delete your laptops, they destruct your electronics physically, literally. So they crush everything, nothing left, and they document it. So once the destruction happens, they document it, they create certificates and other proof that they can share with you, and they are very serious about their job. They have a secure facility, and they are passionate about environment. So if you need this service, consider Popfish USA Sustainable Solutions. Great people, you love working with them, and I have the QR code on the screen. Once you scan the QR code, it'll take you to their website, and you can start the conversation with them. And make sure you tell them you heard about them from the American Business Podcast. If you are interested in learning Excel and other Microsoft Business software systems, consider Ms. Excel. They have a fun and engaging way of teaching. That's why they are growing and they are very popular. I have their QR code on the screen. Before you check out on their website, please use the discount code ABP 2025 to get the discount from the American Business Podcast, and enjoy learning Excel and other Microsoft Business software products. If you're in the market for SAP and Oracle ERP software systems, consider iTech Consultant. They are specialized in implementation, configuration, and support of SAP and Oracle ERP software systems. ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning, for those who are not familiar. And iTech team is specialized in these ERP software systems. I have the QR code on the screen. When you scan it, you can see their website, learn more about them, and get in touch with them. When you get in touch with them, make sure you mention the American Business Podcast. Great. That's it for today. That was our 100th episode and many more to come. Thank you very much for your support. Thank you for being with us. And it's a pleasure to bring you the American Business Podcast, the voice of American business. Thank you very much and have a great weekend. Support for the American Business Podcast comes from Reddit. Do you know the biggest challenge nowadays for American small businesses? That is visibility. That's why we partner with Reddit, Reddit for Business. Reddit has more than 400 million weekly visitors. Furthermore, Reddit is reliable. Reddit is the number one source for real reviews on products, services, and brands. There is a promotion going on. When you spend $500, you'll get $500 in ad credit from Reddit. True story. I am a Reddit user. Anytime I need feedback or review for a product or service, I go to Reddit. I get the real answers, real feedback from real people, from Reddit communities. Scan this QR code and sign up for Reddit advertising for your business. Get the visibility for your company, your products and services. Scan the QR code and sign up today. Thank you for your support. Would you like to start your business podcast? we are here to help. My name is Kevin Deveci. I am the founder and host of the American Business Podcast, the voice of American business. When we started the American Business Podcast on February 28, 2025, we had only one mission in mind: to promote, support, and uplift American businesses, nonprofits, manufacturers, and the American business community. Within our first 6 months, we managed to pass 100,000 YouTube subscribers, and we received YouTube Silver Award. This is an important award. It shows our dedication to American business and to the American Business Podcast viewers, subscribers, and American Business Podcast community. Now you can have your own branded company podcast within the American Business Podcast network. You can promote your company, your products, your services, and you'll have instant visibility in front of thousands of the American Business Podcast viewers, subscribers, and followers. You can promote your company, your products and services. You can educate and inspire businesses and individuals. More importantly, you can tell your story, your brand story. How did you get started? What makes you different? And how you are helping your customers and communities. As you know, in the American Business Podcast, I've been talking to more than 100 American businesses. Each business has a story that is inspiring and motivational. I know your business also has a great story which is motivational and inspiring. It is time for you to have your business podcast within the American Business Podcast network. We help you start your business podcast and we help you grow your business. This is a great opportunity for you to be visible in the marketplace in front of thousands of the American Business Podcast viewers and subscribers. And this is a great opportunity for us to fulfill our mission to promote, support, and uplift American businesses. Please send us an email and let's get the conversation started. It is paas@americanpodcast.tv. Business podcasting as a service, powered by the American Business Podcast, the voice of American business. The American Business Podcast is America's fastest growing educational business podcast network in this age of AI. My name is Kevin Deveci. I'm the founder and host of the American Business Podcast, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you, working with you, and help you grow your business with your new business podcast. Thank you very much. Support for the show comes from Yelp. You know, I've been talking to more than 100 business owners in the American Business Podcast. Do you know the biggest problem for small businesses nowadays? It is visibility. That is why you should sign up and list your business on Yelp for Business. I have the QR code on the screen, and when you scan the QR code, the form will show up on your screen and you can sign up on the registration form. It comes with free trial with no obligation. Make it easy for your customers to find you. Do you know there are more than 70 million customers visiting Yelp website looking for services from businesses just like yours? Restaurants, home services, professional services, and many other businesses are being searched on Yelp on daily basis. That's a great opportunity. If you list your business on Yelp, you'll be findable, searchable, and you'll be visible. When you are visible, when your customers are able to find you, you're in business. You can get opportunities, you can get leads, you can build a healthy and profitable pipeline. Consider Yelp for Business. Scan the QR code, sign up, and start your free trial. It comes with free trial. Very comfortable, no obligation. List your business and start getting the results and enjoy the benefits of Yelp Business. Thank you for your support. Support for the American Business Podcast comes from Anywhere Apps by Kirk Consulting, now Cherry Baker. It is time to digitize and automate your business processes. Anywhere Apps designed for small and mid-sized companies as well as enterprise-level companies to help you digitize and automate your business processes. Today, I'd like to talk about one of the Anywhere apps that's very popular in the US. It is called Nonprofit Management Anywhere. If you are a nonprofit and you like to manage your donations, volunteers, fundraising events, your grants, and other documents for compliance and operational purposes, consider Nonprofit Management Anywhere. It is a completely cloud service. You can start using it today with no need for local installation on your server or on your local laptop and computers. It is user-friendly and it's easy to deploy, and you can start using it today. I have the QR code on the screen. You can scan the QR code and you can learn more about Anywhere apps, including Nonprofit Management Anywhere. Well, there is more. If you'd like to talk to me directly about Anywhere apps, you can just send me an email directly, kevin@kirkconsulting.com. Anywhere apps are modern, they are easy to use, they are affordable, practical, and more importantly, that's designed for you to help you digitize and automate your business processes. Scan the QR code or just send me a direct email, kevin@kirkconsulting.com. Thank you for your support. Support for the American Business Podcast comes from Office Virtual Offices. Office is offering you more than 600 different locations in the US. It is $99 a month. This includes prestigious business address, professional live call answering, personalized call transferring, business phone number, local phone number, professional mail services, voicemail converted to email. I have the QR code on the screen. You can sign up for Opus today. Opus is offering you hundreds of locations in the US that you can pick, any of them that you like. And you can start having your virtual office today. Please scan the QR code and start using Opus Virtual Offices today. Thank you for your support. Support for the American Business Podcast comes from Just Answer. Real help from real experts 24/7. Experts such as lawyers, doctors, veterinarians, computer technicians, home improvement experts, mechanics, personal tax experts, computer technicians, and many other experts are available for you 24/7 on Just Answer. You'll get your answers anytime, during the day, during the night, 24/7, and you'll get your answers from reliable sources. You can scan the QR code on the screen and you can sign up for Just Answer. The answers you need at a price that is right. Scan the QR code and sign up for Just Answer today. Thank you for your support. Support for the American Business Podcast comes from Brother. From large companies to small offices, Brother has powerful printers and all-in-ones for your growing business. Scan the QR code and find the best printers for your needs. When you scan the QR code, you can see the entire collection, business office equipment collection of Brother USA, and pick the one that you like. You'll find printers, labels, toners, all-in-ones, and other office equipment available on Brother website when you scan the QR code. Scan the QR code and start shopping for Brother office equipment today. Thank you for your support. Support for the American Business Podcast comes from Invicta watches. Invicta watches are known for their stylish design for men, women, as well as for unisex watches. When you scan the QR code on the screen, it will take to their online store and you can start shopping right away. When you go to the Invicta store website, you'll see watches in different collections for men, for women, different colors, different designs, as well as different sizes. There are hundreds of watches that you can see and you can pick from. Because it's end of the year, you'll also enjoy the benefits of their end of the year promotions and discounts. True story, I'm an Invicta fan. I've been using Invicta for many, many years. I have more than 10 Invicta watches in my wardrobe. This is one of them that I like. The style is pretty cool. I use these pretty much weekly basis. I have another one that I use on my wrist. This one is pretty cool. This one is called Shutter. I can change the face just by turning the buttons, and I can have different style of watches pretty much every day. Because it's pretty business looking, I can actually wear this with my business outfit as well. Please scan the QR code and start shopping today. I'm sure you'll like Invicta watches. They have great styles and different colors as well as different technologies such as quartz, mechanical, automatic, and other watches are also available for your liking and for your choice. Please scan the QR code and start shopping today. Thank you very much for your support. It is time to sign up for the online monthly networking event. Networking and podcasting together. It is called Connection America Business Alliance, partnered and powered by the American Business Podcast. During this unique business networking event, you'll be able to meet with other business professionals. At the same time, you will be in the American Business Podcast in front of thousands of business-minded YouTube subscribers, viewers, and listeners of the American Business Podcast, the voice of American business. Connection America online monthly networking events are interactive. You'll be able to meet with other seasoned business professionals, and at the same time, you'll be able to interact with viewers and audience. That's a unique event. It is because it's podcasting plus networking. If you are in business, you should be networking. And if you're not networking, you are losing business every single day. That is why we created online monthly networking event called Connection America Business Alliance, CABA in short. Scan this QR code and sign up today. When you scan the QR code, you'll see the list of coming monthly online networking events. Pick the one that works for you and sign up. We have limited seating, and today is the great day to sign up for online business networking event. Networking plus podcasting. That is a unique online business networking opportunity. You can introduce yourself, your products and services, and you'll be able to network with other business professionals live on the American Business Podcast. Scan the QR code and sign up today. I'm looking forward to seeing you there. Thank you for your support.